there everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes roster review. So this time we've got DaIlik from Desert Hermits. So let's have a quick look at what the roster feels like, what we're seeing, and then we'll go a bit more in depth. So first of all, we're talking about 2.283 million GP. We've got a top 80 of 1.153 and a top 65 of 1.054. So how I see that is we've got a fairly top-heavy roster in some ways, but I think that could work in your benefit in GA. If we're talking about ships, just shy of 1 million, so doing alright in that regard. As we saw on the first screen, there is a negotiator in play. Zeta's 24, that looks pretty good to me at that level. 14 Gear 13s, again, nice number. When we break down the Gear 13s, 2 Relic 8s, so yeah, praise to your credit card, I will say that. Just for the fact I know Desert Hermits aren't doing CPIT, so I have got to say that. Relic 7 from, oh yeah, well done for your Relic 7. Relic 6s, we've got 6 Relic 5s and 4 Relic 4 or belows. So yeah, very nice, very nice. 25 speed, we've got 2 mods. We've got 8 20 or higher mods. We've got 25 15 or higher mods. And no offense mods over 6%. So saying that, I find them hard to find. So I'm not going to criticise that. I think that we're going to see that becoming a much more lower number in general. So 0 could become quite regular there. Okay, so let's have a look into DaIlik's roster at large. Okay, so I mentioned 2 Relic 8s, and straight off the bat we can see where they've gone. So General Skywalker and General Kenobi. We saw General Skywalker on the previous screen. General Skywalker's a bit of a weird one though. Also, I don't know why my game's reverted and we're now seeing butt ugly gas again, but for some reason, yeah, we've got this ugly face again. But let's have a look at your mods. Let's see what you're rocking. So, okay, not very high protection, fair bit of speed. Quite a bit of offense though, 9,844, that is high, so I can only say you're going for an offense build with that. If I just look at the actual mod sets, you've got, well, just record offense and health, but you've got speed primary there, offense in the secondaries, crit damage on the triangle, offense on the primary, speed and offense secondaries, speed, crit chance. Okay. We've got speed offense again there, and we've got speed offense there. So how I'm viewing that, we have got a very offensive gas. Not tend to be the way I build them. I do like gas having a thick load of protection if he's going to be a 501st leader. But if you've got plans to use him elsewhere, then I can kind of understand that. Because say you want to use him with Jedi, for instance, then that would make a lot of sense. But as I saw it, you were using 501st in Arena, so I would try and balance them stats out a bit more. Protection for me is the big one. So we're looking at that, we're seeing 83k protection. That is low. If you were going for a pure offense build, it wouldn't be bad. But yeah, I'm just looking at your armor there, 58.9, so it's not like you've got a compensation with defense either. So again, I'm not going to criticize it, because if you were using this under a Jedi Knight Revan lead, this would be fantastic. But what I'm seeing is that whilst your gas is going to really smack people hard, maybe it's not the best one for Arena, at least with 501st. So let me know how you get on, because obviously I'm looking at your Arena position and I can see that you're still doing well in Arena. So I'm looking more long term at this, because I believe you told me that you've bought the Hyperdrive bundle. We're going to see some of the tunes there later on that are just a bit low. But I'm thinking maybe long term, keep it in mind that maybe having defense build as well is not a bad idea. But again, if you're doing alright in Arena, I'm not saying it's wrong, okay? I think there are 2 ways of doing gas. You go defense for 501st, offense for Jedi. And I'm not really buying offense for 501st myself. But again, we'll have a look at the other 501st, or the key ones, and just see how they're going, okay? So before we do that, I want to have a look at GK. Because I'm assuming you're using GK with Padme, so let's just have a quick look at the health pool. 96k, that's looking nice, that is looking very nice. So I can't really say much more on that. I will have a quick look at the stats you've got, because they obviously aren't the best mods as far as the Untitled 6E, sorry, 5E I should say. So yeah, we've got a bit of health, well, 2 bits of health and speed, so that's nice. Health primary, I like that. A bit of speed to compensate, very nice. We've got health, yeah, I'm liking it with a bit of speed and protection. It's a very nice mod for GK. Health primary again, yeah, your modding looks spot on so far from what I'm seeing. So speed, health. Yeah, I didn't spot that the first time I looked at it. Crit damage with the rest really stands out. Yeah, maybe just try and take these 2 output health mods in the long run. But as far as that, yeah, we got health primary and a health primary there. So what I would say, and I want to be consistent, I don't want to be saying one thing to another person and one thing to another. Just try and get full health sets. So you got a speed mod there, crit damage, swap them for health mods, you're going to get a boost with your mod set there. So that 96k, if you can find stats that are comparable on these, so you've only really got the primary there, so you can easily afford to take out put a health mod in there if you get a primary health with some secondary healths. And up here, you did have 2 health, so that was good. You know, I'm not going to hide that as far as secondaries go. The speed and the crit chance, you don't need as much. But yeah, how I view it, if you can get a health mod, which, you know, you do get health mods quite regularly, even just from assault battles, say. If you can get a health mod with 1 health secondary, and try and get 2 if you can, speed is less important, then yeah, I would say you would benefit, because the 2 health mods would combine and it would probably boost that health pool towards 100k. So I would say keep that in mind, because remember, under Padme, GK gains protection up via the health pool, so the bigger the health pool, the more protection up you will get. Similarly, let's have a look at JKA. So you've gone for offense crit chance build. 68k health, okay, that's looking alright. Potency 70%. Could be a little higher. The only reason I would suggest potency with JK is to prevent Malak solos and GA. So I can't really say I've done it myself. You know, if you look at my rosters, I've probably set a bad example there, but it's something I want to start doing. I've been prioritising health a lot on my builds, and I've neglected the potency. So when I get time, I'm going to rebuild and try and get the potency up. So it's just something to keep in mind, I think, because JK on defense with Padme, I believe, is a good option. Unless you come up against, say, a Sith Eternal Emperor that you can just do a solo. Obviously, you're going to have situations like that. But Malak, if someone tries a Malak solo against a potent JK and Padme, it can go wrong very quickly. So just keep that one in mind, because how you've actually got it, it looks nice. You've got offense, crit damage. I would actually say you don't necessarily need it. I'm not saying it's bad again. This is just 2 different ways of modding like gas. But I would argue you could go for a health primary there. You know, just keep stacking up the health, because under Padme, I don't tend to find you need to be that fast. You know, you don't be snail either, but the slower you are, sometimes it can benefit, because Padme will still take a turn, she'll get the protection up, and if your team has been debuffed, you can really benefit from it. So one thing to consider, again, this is not like this needs to be changed kind of advice, this is just how I'm seeing things, you know. Okay, I did say I was coming back to the clones, so we'll have a look at 5s. What's going on here? Okay, we've got 90k health, 84.5k protection. What's the armour at? 66.6, alright, I like that just for the devilish number you've presented, but I need a look at the mods. Okay, so you got a health primary, I can see a little bit of offense in there with the health, okay. Protection, speed, offense, a bit of defense I saw, protection, speed, protection, health. Health, protection, health, speed, offense, I like that. That is a nice all-round mod in my opinion for 5s. Yeah, 5s is a very flexible modding toon in the sense that you can go for, well, you can go for a defense build, so essentially if he dies off, or you can actually make him hard to die off to begin with. But if you make him hard to die off, those stats will then transfer to the other 5 first, making them harder to kill off. So there is that option. Obviously defense doesn't transfer, but you can get health and protection to do that. The other way is making him offense build so that the offense stats transfer or the speed transfers. The one I've been doing myself is one that doesn't involve tactical awareness though, and that is defense mods. So again, it's not a must because where I see you've still got pretty nice defense. I mean, 66.6 is low on the 5's end. I think I've managed to get my defense up to about 80%, so you can get higher by just putting a little bit more focus on defense secondaries, but whilst defense secondaries and primaries. But maybe it's one to consider, because if you can just get him, say up to 75%, it just means that if 5s is being targeted, then he's going to survive that little bit longer to get the sacrifice off. So one to consider. I'm not going to force it. I feel like I'm just doing a few of them, but so far your choices are very understandable. So I'm going to ignore Padme, I'm going to ignore GBA. I'm doing this roster review weird again. Let's go to Rex. Pretty simple check here. Let's have a look. 301, that looks good to me. 301, he's going to get a nice bit of speed with the 20% from Captain of the 501st, so we're looking good there. As far as the others, the one that I'm curious about is Arc. You will need a Zeta on him at some point because that does become a very nice Zeta to have. But what are you looking at as far as stats? Okay, a little bit slow. I think you could get a little bit quicker with Arc. Granted, you do get speed from Rex, but still, Arc is someone who I find quite annoying when he's fast because he constantly disbowels buff, so it can make it very hard to land what you want to land. Yeah, damage, that looks good to me. I don't tend to look at arcs, but I think we are going to see a lot of Ralicate arcs in the near future, so that 9,000 does look good to me. I think you gain some nice damage off. But yeah, quite interesting. I'm going to ignore Echo. I don't know too much about Echo's numbers as far as I haven't got a rough idea what's good and what isn't. But yeah, I would say your 501st is looking good from an offensive point of view. I just question the defense. Let me know in the comments section. Just tell me, do you, at your level, are you doing okay on defense? Do you use gas on defense? I mean, I could understand if it's an offense team. So yeah, and all of this is also taken into account because I feel like I didn't bring this up with anyone when I started this, that you did tell me that gas was a recent unlock, or you're about to unlock him even. So for a very recent build, this is quite good. So the questions I'm throwing out there are more things that maybe you've been thinking yourself, but I am curious how you're getting on with what you've got, because there is an argument, don't fix what isn't broken. So if it's working for you, keep things, but I'm just throwing out ideas about what I've seen and what I've seen work. So yeah, just throwing a few things out in there for you to think about. Okay, now I am going to just do a quick faction by faction check, just see how you're getting on, but then we'll go on to your own requests. So let's just fly through this. We've done 501st in a bit of detail there. Bad Batch, I'm assuming not that much. This advice for everyone, not necessarily just this instance here, but Echo. Try and just get him built up to a degree where you can use Never Any Doubt. It seems like it's a very useful ability for the clone GCs. So if you want to get rewards in Galactic Conquest, just build your Echo up a little bit. Okay, Bounty Hunters. We got Gear 12 Bosk. Very nice there. Could do with at least one Zeta. I know Zetas are a very hard to come by material, but yeah, that one Zeta, just try and spare it one day. Django's notorious reputation Zeta is luxury at this point, but I would advise that at some point as well. Let's move down the list. We've looked at clones. Let's go to the Empire. Rally 3 Vader with a Zeta, I'm guessing that's Merciless. Yeah, no big surprise there. Ooh, missing some Omegas. Yeah, maybe it's just me, but I think if you're taking a tune to Rallic, you need to make sure they've got their Omegas. Just for, not necessarily the Zetas, because, you know, sometimes there are luxury Zetas. But I feel like with both of these, yeah, you're going to need to get spare those Omegas at some point. Again, I know there's an Omega crunch that no one ever seems to talk about. But, yeah, when you get the chance, try and spare them. The mods don't look that great from the level point of view, you know, they look 5E, but let's just have a quick nosy. 246 speed, low crit damage, not the greatest potency. So yeah, from this point on, I am going to stop looking at crit chance. I have looked at it in the past, but we've now got the changes, the nerfs have taken effect, and Merciless now provides plus 50% critical chance. So if you've got just base Vader, if I'm right, yeah, you just need a touch of crit chance to get over 100% crit. So I'm not now advising modding for crit chance. I don't know what I'm advising, to be honest, yet. I'll probably lean towards potency, because I think potency will still be good with Culling Blade to a degree. And yeah, I would still advise crit damage. So maybe swap out that crit chance set for a potency set. Just that little sliver of crit chance if you can spare it, just so that, you know, it does give you that 50 to then go on to 100. But yeah, you've got potency here, so you're on the right tracks anyway. Crit damage, yeah, maybe that's why you could just do swapping this speed set out for a crit damage set. I know that means you're going to lose the speed bonus from the speed set. Honestly, I value crit damage over speed though. That might be personal preference though. We've already had Vaders in the past where offense is a preference, so if it works for you, it works for you. But again, crit damage is where I like to lean on Vader. Okay, so we'll skip the rest of the Empire. They do look relatively squishy, plus I've got a suspicion about what we're going to see with Phoenix. Ewoks, I did see C-3PO. Alright, you did the bare minimum. You got your Chirper to Gear 10, Gear 12 Elder. Yeah, you did very well there. You just basically did whatever the bare minimum. So maybe a bit of RNG involved, but well done. You got through it. First Order. All level 80s. We will move on. Galactic Republic. I think we've looked at the majority of these, but were there any that I should have looked at? Let's just have a quick look at Shaq's speed. 260. Could be a bit higher, but I'm not going to say anything bad there. I mean, that's just a case of sparing secondaries, and that's just something that naturally gets better when you get better mods. So, yeah, no complaints there. 3PO, just see what you're looking at there. 238, and just, okay, the potency is a little bit low. You could maybe spare a bit there, but overall not too bad. I mean, you don't really need tenacity on 3PO, I find. Potency is the bigger one, just so he's constantly landing confusion. Yeah, if he's not landing confusion, he isn't doing a lot, I tend to find. But yeah, skip on. So I think I saw Geos. Yeah, we got Geos, so congratulations on getting watch shards for the guild. We've seen the Empire, so we'll just skip those factions. Jawas, I suspect you're not building, so we're going to move on to Jedi. Okay, so we did have a mention of JKR before, so we'll come back to this in more detail soon. But yeah, the Jedi SC, Mace Windu at Gear 12 is a bit questionable. I'm assuming that was for endurance, but maybe JMK. So yeah, that is interesting. Mando, is anything here? You got 3. Alright, let's move on. Night Sisters, you got your Relic Forage for gas. The rest are chilling at 80. So yeah, a little bit awkward. I say a little bit awkward because really, they're a very underrated faction, but I can't say anything. I've got terrible ones myself on Crimson. It's like, I would love to sometimes see people go Night Sisters. I wish they'd give people an excuse for it. Okay, Old Republic, that is small. I'm not being horrible, that is the smallest Old Republic faction I think I've seen in one of these roster reviews so far. So yeah, work to do there, work to do. We'll come back to it. Okay, Phoenix. All 7-star. Alright, you should be able to get your throne. I mean, I'm seeing 8. Yeah, so you should be able to get throne. I mean, it won't be easy, but I think all you need to do is remod. Let's just have a look at what you've got. Again, Omegas can help. We'll have a closer look, but how I remember it, and I have got a video I'll try and link up the top right corner in the card. Zeb, you need to mod for potency just so he can land as many debuffs as possible in the final wave. Chopper, just mod for survivability, just try and make sure that he can take some hits. Same with Kanan, a bit of speed wouldn't hurt, but he's not a fast 2 naturally, so it's a bit difficult making him fast. Hera, speed, and Ezra damage, although speed as well is nice. So really you just need to shift a few of the mods from your top end tunes that aren't gear 12, so it's a little bit tricky, but I do get why it's tricky. You know, it's like you don't really want to invest in Phoenix, and everyone's got that problem. So I just hope you can do a remod one day and just finish Thrawn off, because he's really worth it. Okay, Rebels. So we've got a few of them at the top, and the rest are level 80, so I feel safe to say we can move on there. Resistance. You've got a 5-star BB. Got the rest are hyperdrive, yeah. Well, you got 5-star R2, but again, that's just basically what you got from the hyperdrive, so okay. A little bit of work to do, I think that'd be safe to say. Pretty simple though, just farm your first order up to get BB to 5-star, and then you've only got to work on the event tunes, so not too bad if you wanted Rey. Scoundrels, anything going on here that I've missed? You got your Newt to 7-star. Not seeing a lot else though, so you got Han. Try and build Han up. I didn't look at him in the Rebels, so one to look for, I would say. Seppies, anything besides the Geos and the droids? You got your Wat at 4, nice to see. Grievous, you've got them droids. Don't fall into Temin's trap. Temin is suffering a little bit for it. Get your GG as high as possible. Oh, I feel for you when I see it. I feel for you. Sith, we've pretty much seen a lot of that, so I'm skipping on, and we know the Sith Empire is small, so I think we can leave the faction review here. Okay, so what you did say to me, you were thinking CLS, Sith, Jedi before going for JMK. Now, what I would say, I think that's smart. I see you've Rally 8 your GK, and you've got your GMY up to Rally 5. So, I don't know what your spending limit is. I know what Desert Hermits are about as far as Rally 8, so that's why I do refer to the spending limit. But if you've got designs on getting Grandmaster Yoda to Rally 8 now, it wouldn't be a bad investment. I took mine to Rally 7 on Crimson as my first or second Rally 7. So I don't regret that one bit. He's got good damage even now. What I would say, as far as the other requirements, when I was going through, I saw your Bo-Katan, and yeah, 4-star. So it could do with a bit of work, that is safe to say. Now, I know last time I did an actual full screen thing from C3PO bot showing JML farm. I haven't done that for JMK here. But what I would say, JMK for you is probably going to be a long farm. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I think if you go straight for JMK, you're going to have a lot of tunes built up that don't really have homes. I've talked about that myself with Crimson, in that I don't want to say I've Rallic 5 Cad Bane, Rallic 7 Django, but not having a full bounty hunter team around them that are kind of making them worth it. So that'd be something I would be advising. Like, you're talking about CLS, you're talking about the Sith, you're talking about the Jedi. Having them built up doesn't really benefit the JMK farm, but what it will do is it will prevent you having bloat, so that you're not suddenly facing opponents that have got built teams to your odd relics, if that makes sense. So I would advise going for the Jedi and the Sith first. I'd maybe avoid going for CLS. I mean, if we just have a quick look at your CLS Rex so far, you've got your R2 at 5, if I saw right. Don't know where I'm going here. Yeah, your R2-D2 is at 5-star. Maybe you could push a bit harder and get that to 7-star now. But if we actually look at the CLS Rex, I don't believe you've worked on him. Yeah, 5, 5, 5, 5 there. So, yeah, there would be a bit of work. Whereas if we look at Jedi, I'm not saying that there isn't work here. Let's be honest. You've got 1 5-star tune. Jolie Bindo, Mission Veo, Zalbar, and T3. They're not the easiest farms. However, JKR is worth it. if you were to Relic Bastila and Jolie on the way to it, and if I just have a quick look at your Jedi, you've already got Grandmaster Yoda at Relic 5, and you've got the option of doing Jedi Knight Anakin with Relic 7, or you could build up another one. You know, I like my Plo, but besides that, you've got Shaq, because you've got General Skywalker. You don't need Shaq in a clone team right now. Or you could build up another Jedi. So the idea being, you get JKR unlocked, you work on Bastila and Jolie along the way. GMY's already ready, so you've got 4 of the team ready, and then it's just a case of who you want as your 5th. So there'll be an argument there to work for Shaq, because Shaq can be a good 5th in the Jedi Knight Revan team, plus you've got Relic Shaq for JMK in the long run. What I would also say is you're talking about Sith. So again, we've seen what your Old Republic's looking like. Let's just have a quick look at the current Sith Empire. You've got 7-star HK, so you haven't got to farm him at least. But you have obviously got the other Old Republic ones to work on. So you haven't got your BSF unlocked, you haven't got Kandris, Juhani or Karth. So they do take time. The one advantage I'm finding is that with these double drops, they do seem to be a bit quicker than before. Well, I say double drops, accelerated farming, but it does seem a lot easier to get these tunes. So I would advise it, because the time it takes to farm the Old Republic faction up so you can do both Jedi Knight and Darth Revan, it is probably worth going down that road and getting both of those tunes to the required level, rather than trying to just jump straight ahead to JMK. I think that'd be the right way to do it. Build those 2 factions up, and then JMK. Because the way I look at it as well, I'm looking at Bo. Bo's the one that strikes me, because 4 stars, fair enough. I'm guessing maybe you've either spent a bit of energy on getting the shards up already, or you maybe bought the pack. Again, no judgment, but how I view it, it's like, it's going to take her a while. If you're only doing like every now and again refreshes, which is what Crimson's been doing, to be honest. I'm only at 6-star on her, and I've been doing it since she was on the nodes back in May or June. So it's taken a bit of time to get to 6-star. So how I look at it, if you go for the Jedi and the Sith factions first, or JKR and Darth Revan, it just means that you've then got this luxury time where you can just passively farm Bo. You can just get a shard, get her ready, and any of the other requirements that you haven't got nailed down. I mean, if we just go to Galactic Republic for a second, let's just have a look at some of the tunes that you haven't got. So you've already got your Clone Sergeant to gear 12, so you're going to be quite close there. Ayla's at 7, Cody's at 7, and as far as I can tell, you haven't got a leftover one, so you do seem to be alright for shards for the most part. If I just go to Seppi's, I'm sure you'll be fine there as well. You would need to take your Magna up to Relic 5, but that's not the biggest thing out of all this. Plus, all of that time would allow you to get shards for Wat Tambul. That's another factor that I didn't take into account, but what is going to be the big hurdle for you, because unless they start bringing that pack out again randomly, or they put him in shipments again, what will be a hard farm for you. So just giving yourself time via doing JKR and Darth Revan, it means that you can get them shards up. But yeah, how I look at it, you've got a very nice balanced roster in some ways, but you just need to balance it a bit more. Again, I feel like I'm criticising there, and I don't mean to, but I just look at that Old Republic and I think, say that takes you 6 months, and maybe I'm being optimistic, maybe I'm being pessimistic, I don't really know, I haven't farmed them since the accelerated farm, but say from start to finish that takes you 6 months to do both factions, and you can maybe work on Malak in that time as well. Then that would mean you've also got 6 months to get Bo done, or at least get to 7-star. And it would mean from there, all you've got to prioritise really from that point on is the requirements for JMK. So my advice is to work on that. I don't know what your thoughts are, but if you've said to yourself, right, I've seen JMK in Arena, he looks great, I'm going for him, then you can do that. My concern is the bloat, and I will stand by that. I mean, take the Bounty Hunters just for argument's sake. You've got a Gear 12 Bosk, that would be good. But besides that, you would have a Relic 7 Django, a Relic 5 Cad, chilling with a Gear 8 Greedo and Boba. And yeah, it wouldn't really be a great team if I'm being brutally honest. It could maybe do some things because Django at Relic 7 hits like a lunatic, but I honestly wouldn't be that worried about it. I'd just take a Rey Jedi training and if I got that or something of equal power. So just being able to sort of compensate for it by saying, oh yeah, I've got Jedi Knight Revan, I've got Darth Revan, that kind of compensates for the fact that you might have one or two toons that aren't at the same level as the rest of a faction. I hope this makes sense anyway. I hope I'm not just dashing hope, shall we call it. But yeah, my belief is just try and pause your farm for JMK for the time being. Even if you don't really want to do Old Republic, maybe do CLS. It might take a bit longer just based on what you've got currently. But then again, CLS is a great toon. I'm not going to say don't go for him because he's a great toon. C-3PO, Chewbacca, you'd need them as well, but you've got 3PO already, so Chewbacca, you've got the bounty hunters for, so it's just a case of actually gearing them up a bit. So, yeah, way I see it, a CLS team would be okay once you got CLS unlocked, but I don't know, maybe I'm just leaning towards those two factions over building this one pretty much. But let me know in the comments, let me know what you're thinking, because it's a very interesting pivot point. There are two directions you can go in. I think both can pivot straight back to JMK. But, yeah, whichever way you go, I think it'll be very interesting to look at this, say, in a year's time and just see which direction you took. So, I'm going to wrap up here. Ships, I'm just going to glance at because I didn't really do that in the last one and I felt guilty for. But, yeah, we got a rough idea from your fleet arena position. Plo, you've got maxed out on reinforcements, I'm assuming? Yeah, you got that maxed out. So, yeah, you're looking quite good here, if we're going to be honest. I mean, you've got your Geos pretty well built. Some fact needs some stars. Vulture could do with some stars as well if you're going for Malevolence at any point. You've got your Hyena Bomber at 4. So, Malevolence could be very fun when you get that. I like that. Malevolence could be really fun by that point. But yeah, just a little side farm that, you know, whenever you get a bit of time, just dip into Hyena's node. But yeah, I'm leaving it here now. I'm leaving it. I think, like I said, I think you've got an interesting roster. I'd like to have another look at it. Because, I've got to be honest, I was surprised when I saw who I was looking at. I had the comment on YouTube from Jacob. So when I actually saw who it was, I was like, ah, okay. So this is a bit of fun for me again. I didn't really know who I was actually reviewing until I just happened to see the guild name. But yeah. Thanks for watching this, folks. If you got any comments for myself or DaIlik, leave them in the comments section below. If you want your roster reviewing, leave your ally code in the comments below with any little nuggets that you want me to look at or thoughts on your own roster. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now, folks.